Okay, I know I put out this clip only last month, praising Lando for being the only one capable of taking it to Max Verstappen. But I've had some time to reconsider, and I've come to realize that I was right. He is the only person capable of sticking it to Max. Sue me. Fine. I do now understand that my view was quite subjective, let's just say. Well, here I am now, and I'm willing to right my wrongs. For once. Let's just say after listening to Lewis's heartwarming speech, I've changed. For better or for worse. Well, for one, I have immediately rekindled my utmost hatred for the man, so probably for the worst.
Yeah, I can't stop crying.
Either way, after looking at the season so far, I've realised that Lando is not quite ready to become champion yet. So, I suggest we take a look at the past few Grand Prix we've had since Lando's maiden win, and you'll probably realise, just as I have, that things have not gone entirely to plan. And here's why. Starting with the Italian Grand Prix, Lando was coming in fresh from his first victory in the sport, absolutely buzzing, as someone would say.
Buzzing, absolutely buzzing.
Put the car on the front row and was ready to pounce. Unfortunately for him, Max bested him off the line and was ahead by a few seconds in just a matter of laps, putting Lando out of contention until the latter part of the race. Once Maxi Boy burned through his tyres, the McLaren suddenly had the pace on the Dutchman and started chasing him for what seemed like to be the longest 10 laps of my life. Makes it sound like I was actually there doing something productive. I pretty much was, at least my Apple Watch thought so. Warned me 3 times I was about to have a stroke. But in the end, it was all for naught, and as Lando later indicated, he was just not used to running so close to the Red Bull. The tyres started acting up, and he only got used to it by the last lap of the Grand Prix. Well, there goes that race. Only just shortened my life by 5 years from the amount of adrenaline I was pumping. Perez, by the way, finished outside of the points that race. Just wanted to throw that out there. Well, in Monaco, it was pretty clear cut, to be honest. He qualified 4th, finished 4th. And that race was so perfect for Charlie, I almost don't want to comment too much on it. It's quite rare that he comes out of a Grand Prix smiling. So, let's just keep it that way. Oh, and Perez DNF'd. Just throwing that out there. In Canada, however, things were different. It must be so much more annoying when you get the taste of victory in your mouth and then you just get screwed the fuck over. Happens too many times, you become like Charlie, eternally depressed. But this time, Lando got a tremendous start in the wet, and in the first stint, you f***ing dumbass. And in the first stint, overtook literally everybody on the track. And at one point was 15 seconds ahead of the second car. But then, got screwed over by none other than Mr. Sargent. And when someone starts talking about Sargent, there's no further explanation necessary. You know the safety car is already on the track. This time, whether it was purely timing or a f*** up on the McLaren pit wall, Lando was hung out to dry, while the rest of the front grid got in, changed their tyres, and smoked Lando in 1 lap's time. This time, it's difficult to say, but I must admit, I think it was largely a game of chance, and McLaren just lost out on this one. Oh, and almost forgot, Perez DNF'd. What a shame. Yet another one that got away. This time, Lando put it all in during the quali and managed to get that highly desired pole, but let's just say it didn't go as planned. In fact, he not only was not able to get away from Max, not only did Max overtake Lando in the first corner, they both got absolutely shat on by Mr. Buzz himself. Now that's a fucking disappointment. From then on, once the Mercedes boys remembered it's 2024 and their cars are still arse, they were pretty quickly dismissed by both Max and Lando. And crucially, once it came down to the pit strategy, Lando chose to stay out. Once again. And that cost him 4 grid places, which he was able to recover, most of them, but still was too far out to challenge for the win and fell short once again to Sid from Ice Age. Tough shit. And what do you know? Perez finished in the points. A whole 4 points in the bag. That will put a dent in the constructors. You go, Perez. You go, my man. Well, we all know how that went. But Perez, 7th place. Really putting work behind the wheel of that Red Bull. The car with which his teammate won almost every single race last year. And then we come to present day. British Grand Prix. With 3 Brits starting in the top 3 positions, you would sort of expect that the home crowd would be satisfied either way. Well, for the longest time it seemed like this will be the dream scenario, like a 2024 Monaco but the British version. But once again, it all went wrong in the pit strategy. The McLarens had tremendous pace in the first stint, literally overtaking everyone to a point where they were comfortably running in 1-2. If you're a McLaren fan, you couldn't have hoped for a better scenario. Until you could. A proper rainstorm appeared, and under the first pit stop, Piastri was taken out of contention by a fucking stupid pits call.
I mean, I can't help but feel disappointed.
And a similar fate awaited our beloved Lando during the second pit, with him making a crucial error in the pits call, and losing him the shot at first place, as well as second place. Doesn't look like he was satisfied.
Yeah, I don't know what to say.
Oh yeah, and Perez was lapped in the race. Twice, actually. What a So, what can I say? You wanted me to be more objective, well, here I am. I still stand by my words that Lando is the only one that can take it to Max, but it just doesn't seem like it will happen this season. I'm sorry. Throughout the past 5 Grand Prix, he's shown that he's not yet comfortable with the running close to Max, and once in the lead, he really tends to make bad calls, doesn't he? And don't get me wrong, he's way calmer and cool-headed during the Grand Prix, much better than he was a few years ago.
Anti-stall! It's off.
But when it counts, the decision making, it's just arse. So I of course continue to hope for the best, but something's got to change if he wants to get that championship this year. And I don't think growing a weak chin beard's going to cut it this time. Yeah. Better luck next time. Peace.